Today we're covering physical activity. There are three types of physical activity that are important for your health: aerobic exercise, strength training, and flexibility. We will talk about each of these and the different benefits they provide. Aerobic exercise, also called endurance activity or cardio activity, uses the body's large muscles in a rhythmic manner for a sustained period of time. Brisk walking, running, bicycling, jumping rope, dancing, and swimming are all examples, and those are just a few of the many ways you can participate in aerobic activity. What's important is that you find something that you enjoy. There are more tips on your handout. Aerobic activity causes a person's heart to beat faster, and they will breathe harder than normal. It's recommended to get 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise each week, or 75 minutes of high intensity exercise. Aerobic physical activity has three components: intensity, frequency, and duration. Intensity, or how hard a person works to do the activity. This is the intensity that is most studied is moderate and vigorous. Moderate intensity is equivalent in effort to brisk walking. Vigorous intensity is equivalent in effort to running or jogging. Next is frequency, or how often a person does aerobic activity. And lastly, duration, or how long a person does an activity in any one session. Although these components make up an aerobic physical activity profile, research has shown that the total amount of physical activity, or minutes of moderate intensity physical activity in a week, for example, is more important for achieving health benefits than is any one component: frequency, intensity, or duration. All time spent in moderate or vigorous intensity activity counts toward meeting the key guidelines. One of the easiest ways to increase your physical activity and improve your health is to simply move more and sit less. Another easy option is walking. One of the best things about walking is that it's great exercise and it's absolutely free. Walking helps the cardiovascular system, the heart, blood vessels, and the lungs, work more efficiently. If you can get your cardiovascular system working more efficiently, the American Heart Association and Mayo Clinic say the health benefits you will reap include a reduced risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, developing type 2 diabetes, and some types of cancer. You will also have improved cholesterol and triglyceride levels and strengthened immune system to ward off viral illnesses. What are some of the benefits you will enjoy soon after you start walking regularly? You will feel better, you'll have more energy, you'll be able to maintain your weight, you'll have a decreased level of stress, you'll feel an elevated mood, and you'll have help with your better sleep, as long as you don't walk too close to bedtime. Adults should get 30 minutes of moderately intense physical activity most days of the week to reduce their risk of chronic disease. You may wonder how you know if you're walking at a moderate intensity. Walking 2 miles in 30 minutes is considered moderately intense exercise. And then there is the talk test. If you cannot talk while you're walking, you need to slow down. If you feel that you don't have time to walk for 30 minutes at a time, don't worry. You can get health benefits by walking in 10-minute bouts. The important thing to remember is that you must increase your heart rate for that 10 minutes. And one last tip. If you don't currently walk for exercise, start slowly and gradually increase your time and pace. You'll be less likely to suffer soreness or injury. The next mode of exercise we'll discuss is strength training. When people plan their exercise programs, they often forget about strength training. We will be talking about why strength training is important and some simple ways to get started. Strength training does what walking and aerobic training does not. It makes your muscles strong. Strength training is important for everyone, especially for those over the age of 30. You may be surprised to know that for every decade of life after 30, we experience a 3 to 8% loss of lean muscle. It's so gradual that it goes unnoticed, but if it goes unchecked, it can eventually lead to a decline in strength, balance, and flexibility. Have you noticed that you have experienced muscle loss? How do you think it impacts you? Often the first thing you notice is that you have lost muscle mass is a reduction in strength. If muscle mass is lost for many years, it can eventually impact balance and result in falls. Strength training can help you regain muscle mass and offers a variety of other health benefits. It can increase bone density. 1 in 3 women over the age of 50 and 1 in 5 men will experience an osteoporosis-related fracture. This is according to the International Osteoporosis Foundation. Strength training can help you maintain or increase your strength. People lose strength slowly, but gaining it back can help build independence and confidence. Strength training can help maintain muscle mass. It can help combat those bat wings on the arms, as well as tone the rest of your body. It can also help you control body fat. Muscle burns 3 times more calories than fat does. Strength training can decrease your risk for falls and injury. As you exercise to improve muscle strength, you also improve balance and flexibility. This decreases the risk of falls, according to the International Osteoporosis Foundation. Strength training can reduce disease symptoms. We just mentioned osteoporosis, but there are a variety of chronic conditions that are positively affected by strength training. You can refer to your handout for those. Believe it or not, strength training can help with arthritis symptoms. It can help strengthen muscles around those joints, making movement easier and less painful. And lastly, strength training can boost your stamina. As you get stronger, you don't tire as easily. Many people report having more energy after strength training. Some people also improve their self-esteem as a result of strength training. They feel that they look better and have a sense of pride that they can do more than they used to be able to do. The American College of Sports Medicine guidelines say that beginners should do strength training activities at least 2 days a week. It's best to do 8 to 12 repetitions of each of 8 to 10 different exercises, working all of the major muscle groups. This means working the muscles in your chest, back, shoulders, arms, abdomen, and legs. There are some exercises listed in the handouts, but there are plenty of things that we do every day that can build strength. We just have to do enough to build muscle. For example, walking upstairs quickly can be a good aerobic workout. Walking up and down the stairs slowly several times can create enough resistance to build muscle. Gardening is a great strength training activity. Carrying heavy loads such as a bag of dirt, hoeing, and digging can all create resistance. Can you think of other things that you do regularly that could be a form of strength training if you could do it just a little more? If you aren't already doing something to maintain or gain muscle mass, you might consider that for your goal. Just like with aerobic activity, it's important to start where you are and increase gradually. Doing too much too soon can put you at an increased risk of injury. If you're going to start a strength training program, it's also important to perform exercises correctly, as incorrect form could also lead to injury. Flexibility. Flexibility training is the most neglected mode of exercise, and it's just as important as aerobic and strength training in helping you maintain your independence. These kinds of activities enhance the ability of a joint to move through the full range of motion. Stretching exercises are effective in increasing flexibility and thereby can allow people to move more easily and do activities that require greater flexibility. It's recommended to stretch 2 to 3 times a week, stretching the major muscle groups, the chest, back, shoulders, arms, abdomen, and legs, and holding each stretch for 30 to 60 seconds. Here are some other tips on stretching. Don't consider stretching a warm-up. You may hurt yourself if you stretch cold muscles. Before stretching, warm up with light walking, jogging, or biking at a low intensity for 5 to 10 minutes. Even better, stretch after your workout when your muscles are warm. Strive for symmetry. Everyone's genetics for flexibility are a bit different. Rather than striving for the flexibility of a dancer or a gymnast, focus on having equal flexibility on both sides, especially if you have a history of a previous injury. Flexibility that is not equal on both sides may be a risk factor for injury. Don't bounce. Stretch in a smooth movement without bouncing. Don't aim for pain. Expect to feel tension while you're stretching, not pain. If it hurts, you've pushed too far. Back off to the point where you don't feel any pain, and then hold the stretch. Bring movement into your stretch. Gentle movements, such as those in Tai Chi or yoga, can help you be more flexible in specific movements. These types of exercises can also help reduce falls in older adults. Consider what's called the dynamic warm-up. Here's an example. If you're going to perform a specific activity, such as a kick in martial arts or kicking a soccer ball, start out slowly and at a low intensity to get your muscles used to it. Then speed up gradually. Oftentimes, tight muscles are actually the cause of discomfort in the body. For example, low back pain may actually be just tight hamstrings and not something more serious. Our hamstring muscles insert in our lower back. Stretching our hamstrings and keeping them flexible can help reduce low back pain. We have just discussed the 3 modes of exercise that are important for overall health: aerobic activity, strength training, and flexibility. Now let's go over some safety precautions for exercising in the heat of the summer. Summer is a great time to be active outside, but there are several things you need to know about being active when it's hot. You need to understand how the warmer weather affects your body. You need to know the 3 different types of heat-related illnesses, and you need to know what to do to prevent heat-related illnesses. We'll discuss all of these things so that you can be prepared to be active even when it's hot. How does the summer heat affect your body? High temperatures make it hard for your body to cool itself down. We create heat in our body through all of our movements. We also create heat through normal, everyday processes like digesting our food or circulating our blood. In the same way that a car engine gets hot as it travels down the road, so do our bodies produce heat just to be alive. The human body is constantly creating and ridding itself of heat to maintain a core temperature of about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If you produce so much heat that your internal body temperature rises, your heart rate increases and blood vessels expand to send blood to the outer layers of the skin so that the heat can be released into the air. The cooler the air temperature, the more quickly the heat is able to leave. Being active burns a lot of energy and creates a lot of heat. What happens to your body, specifically your skin, when you're active outside? Sweating is another way for the body to cool itself when it becomes overheated. When beads of sweat form on the skin, air flows over the sweat and helps it evaporate. As the sweat evaporates, the body cools. How does humidity affect the body on hot days? When humidity is high, the moisture in the air makes it harder for sweat to evaporate from your skin. This makes it difficult for your body to cool itself down. Sweat is just water from our bloodstream. If we sweat a lot, less water is available to operate the brain, muscles, and other organs. That can cause things like lightheadedness and muscle cramps, which can be early signs of heat-related illness. Let's talk about the different types of heat-related illnesses. Remember, we said there are three: heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Heat cramps. These are muscle cramps or spasms that usually affect the legs, arms, or abdomen. They can occur hours after intense activity. They are usually caused by a lack of water, vitamins, or electrolytes. Treatment is rehydration with an electrolyte drink. You should also place firm pressure on the aching muscle group or massage it to release muscle tension. You also can do some gentle stretching. Heat exhaustion. You can be suffering from heat exhaustion even if your body temperature is normal or just slightly elevated. Symptoms include excessive sweating, cold, clammy skin, paleness, dizziness, a weak and rapid pulse, shallow breathing, nausea, and a headache. It is attributed to dehydration. Treatment is to stop exercising and cool off. Slowly drink water to dehydrate or to rehydrate. And heat stroke. This is the most serious form of heat illness. It occurs when the body's ability to cool itself has failed. It's a medical emergency characterized by red, hot, dry skin, vomiting, a high body temperature, and possibly a change in consciousness. Someone suffering from a heat stroke may have a hard time breathing and a fast heartbeat. The victim's body temperature may exceed 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Treatment is to transport the heat stroke victim to the hospital or call 911 immediately, as this is a life-threatening condition. Get the victim to a cool place, remove any tight clothing, and try to rapidly lower the person's body temperature with either cool water or ice packs. Give cool, not cold water if the victim is able to drink. What can you do to stay cool while being active in the summer? Carry a water bottle with you when you go out. Don't chug it all at once, but drink a little bit here and there all day. I carry one with me with time frames on it to help me make sure I've drank enough water throughout the day. Pick cooler times of the day to be active, such as early in the morning or late in the evening. And dress the part. Wear light-colored clothing materials that are lightweight and water-wicking to keep yourself cool. Wear sunglasses and a hat to help protect your eyes. Drink water. How much water should you drink? 2 hours before exercise, you should drink 2 cups of water. 15 minutes before exercise, you should drink 1 to 2 cups of water. And then every 15 minutes during activity, you'll need another ½ cup to 2 cups of water. After activity, you should consume 3 cups for each pound of body weight lost. When should you use sports drinks instead of water? Sports drinks are recommended during exercise that lasts longer than 1 hour. They replace electrolytes lost when you sweat heavily. What are electrolytes? Electrolytes are minerals in the body that help to regulate the body's water balance. They also help your muscles expand and contract and help transmit nerve impulses. Sweat contains 3 electrolytes: sodium, chloride, and potassium. Some signs of an electrolyte imbalance include irregular heartbeat, weakness, twitching, confusion, fatigue, and muscle spasm. So drink low sugar or sugar-free sports drinks when you're outside being active for more than an hour. But drink your water too. It's vitally important to our bodies. That's a wrap for physical activity, and we'll be coming to you next month to wrap up this whole series. We'll be covering stress management. As always, reach out to Eden or I if you have any questions about this month's presentation.